Welcome here to Shy Sports Live. We have game one of this three-game set between the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets. Bit of a late start here, but thank you all for listening. Let's go through the starting lineups first for the visiting Mets. Leading off is Francisco Lindor. He's playing shortstop. Juan Soto hitting second. He's playing right field. Pete Alonso hitting third. He's playing first base. Brandon Nimmo hitting fourth, playing center. Mike Vantos, the DH, hitting fifth. Brett Beatty hitting sixth, the third baseman. Sonny Marte playing left field, hitting seventh. Jeff McNeil playing second base, hitting eighth. And Francisco Alvarez hitting ninth and playing the catching position. The Cubs defensively will line up left to right. Happ, PCA, Suzuki, third to first. Shaw, Swanson, Horner, and Santana. Carson Kelly behind the plate. And Cade Horton on the mound as we are set to play baseball here in a bit of a cloudy night, but a beautiful night nonetheless in Chicago. Again, apologies about the rapid start. Was not going to be doing this game due to a headache. However, I felt better, so I'm doing this game now. But here we go. First pitch is underway, and it is a ball low in the Francisco Lindor to get us started. Lindor, 154 games played on the season, 267 average, 28 home runs, 80 RBIs. 1-0, high fly ball, left center field, hit well at the track. Pise looks up, it's gone. So leadoff home run from Francisco Lindor, and the Mets get off and running right away. That is not what you want to see if you're Cade Horton and the Cubs. Second pitch of the game, and Frankie Lindor goes deep. And I'll bring up another man who can hit the ball out of the ballpark one, Soto. Here is the first pitch. Give me over curve, that's a strike on one. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in to the Bears game Sunday afternoon when the Bears beat the Dallas Cowboys. It was a fly ball off field out of play. It's 0-2 now on Soto. Cubs trail the Mets early. A solo home run from Francisco Lindor to start off this game. Horton comes set, and the 0-2. Going away with a changeup, good eye from Soto. It's 1-2 now. Horton comes set, and the 1-2. Line drive, right field, past the diving glove of Horner, and Juan Soto has a base hit to get his evening started offensively. So a home run and a line drive single, and for Cade, it has not been a good start. Right. In the last 6 starts at Wrigley, of course, this is going to be a bit elevated now. .29 ERA, and 5 of his 6 outings here at Wrigley have been scoreless outings. He's only given up 1 home run, now 2. To this point in time. Here's Pete Alonso. First pitch to him is a fly ball. This one's hit well center field, but Pete lost it for a second. Now he gathers it and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. Yeah, definitely looked like Pete lost it in the lights initially, but 1 gone. Runner on first, 1-0 Mets. Pete also kind of slipped a touch. We got Brandon Nimmo. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Good changeup from Cade. 24 home runs, 88 RBIs for Nimmo. A lot of home runs in this Mets lineup offensively. Not a lot of high averages, though. Here's the 0-1. Just a touch inside. It's 1-1. It's an 89 Unsure if that was a fastball. That was his fastball, and that's very low. And probably concerning to see what an actual fastball velocity is. Pickup attempt to first, and almost getting Soto. He's back in time. Cubs might want to say, hold on a minute here. They are going to say, ask for time. They will not challenge, though. So a couple hits in for the Mets. The replay here, it does show the tag was just a tad too late on Soto. Horn comes set to 1-1. Fastball, that's at the knees, 98, strike 2. So that must have been a misread or something that did not break at all. On that previous pitch, that was at 89. It looked like a fastball, but maybe a misread. The 1-2, high fly ball, left field. And again, Ian Happ now loses it. Swanson's able to make the catch on a pop fly. So that's 2 times now tonight in the first few batters that a defender has not been able to see the ball initially. First it was Pete Armstrong, and now it was Ian Happ. Something like a Mark Vientos. Pick up to the first again, Soto back in time. Round was not as close. And the tag from Santana was actually high. Here's the first pitch. We're going to Soto. It's a strike. Soto's going to steal second easily. No chance to get him. Another stolen base for Juan Soto, which was a perfect strike. Yeah, that was a really good jump from Juan Soto. Was already running before the pitch even was delivered, so no chance to get him. Here's the 0-1. That's spiked into there. Good block from Kelly. It's 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. One, late swing and a miss, 1-2 now on Vientos. Okay, trying to get through a 1-2, or trying to get it past the initial home run and single. The 1-2. Late swing and a miss, strike 3. That's out number 3. Mets 2 add 1. Well, to the bottom of the first, 1 out to New York on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back here to Wrigley Field at Tri Sports Live. Bottom of the first. Here's the Cubs lineup today. Nico Hoerner leading it off. Ian Happ hitting second, Seiya Suzuki hitting third, Carson Kelly hitting fourth, Carlos Santana hitting fifth, Dansby Swanson hitting sixth, Justin Turner hitting seventh, Matt Shaw hitting eighth, and Pete Armstrong hitting ninth. The defensive lineup for the Mets: left to right, Marte, Nimmo, and Soto. Third to first, Beatty, Lindor, McNeil, and Alonso, and Francisco Alvarez is catching. And David Peterson, who was a first-time All-Star this season, has a 55% ground ball rate. That's sixth in MLB. And a 2.28 batting average, 68 strikeouts, and a 38% whiff rate on the slider. He is the starting pitcher tonight for the New York Mets. So a couple hits in the top of the first off of Cade Horn, including a Francisco Lindor home run. First pitch to Horner is a fastball up for ball one. That is how the Mets get their runs in the top half of this inning. Here's the 1-0. Line drive, right center field. This one is going to fall in front of Soto for a base hit. And the Cubs have their first hit of the game and their first batter as well. Although it not being a home run on the first at bat. Fastball middle in. Nico just goes inside out with it, lines at the right field, and it drops in front of a sliding Soto, who does not play well defensively out there. Is able to cut it off from bouncing past him, and it's a leadoff single. Half shows, bunt, pulls it back. It's going in for a ball, 1-0. Ian hitting .241 on the season, 23 home runs, 74 RBIs in 144 games. We have a different lineup for the Cubs tonight. Pete Armstrong hitting ninth. We're on the pitch clock to 1-0. It's a changeup low, 2-0 now. You look at the replay. And Juan, if he does not cut that ball off, Nico probably has a base hit. Did not get the best jump off of it, and Soto is not really the best defensive player as well. I got them to first. Horner barely back in time. That one was close. Did not dive. Just got back to the back, standing up. 2-0 on Ian Happ. 4 pitches for Peterson are in the game. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah. 10 on the pitch count. Peterson comes sets. The 2-0. That's slow as well. It's 3-0 now. There's a sinker from Peterson that dropped to the shins. Cubs got swept by the Reds in their last series, and the Mets did not play well against the Nationals. Both teams are in a slump. 3-0. That's at the knees of the strike. 3-1 now. Of course, for the Cubs, they've already clinched the postseason spot. Of course, you're also trying to clinch that top wild card spot. Magic numbers slowly going down. However, still some time away. The 3-1. Oh, that's a strike. That one, according to our graphic box, that one was a good 1.5 2 inches low on a sinker. Of course, those boxes aren't always correct, but that might be a little egregious. It's full now on Happ. The 3-2. That's called strike 3. Horner runs, throw is late. So Happ is called out on strikes. Horner does steal second. And Peterson stole a couple strikes. And of course, the one should not have been a strike according to our box. But the following pitch, that was a perfect strike. Seiya Suzuki. First pitch to him. Give me over curve, popped up out of play for strike 1. Seiya hitting .242, 27 homers, 91 RBIs. He's been on a couple month-long slump now, especially with the home run ball. Here's the 0-1. That's in a dirt 1-1 now on Seiya. Here's the 1-1. And it occurred. Check swing, ground ball, put into play. Peterson will grab it. Notice tag. Suzuki for the third. Peterson almost gets Horner on the back pick. So Seiya goes down on a weak ground out, and Horner just beats the throw as he was getting back to the back. So 2 gone. Now we have Carson Kelly. See, that was actually caught by a snow cone by Peterson, and he just fired over to third. It's a dangerous play, throwing it back to third. Especially with 2 outs, you don't want to throw it away. First pitch to Kelly. That's slow for ball 1. Home plate umpire tonight for this game is John Lipka. DJ Rayburn is at first. Sean Barber is at second, and James Hoy is at third. 67 degrees and pretty cloudy tonight. Had some weather around the area and in the area all day, pretty much. The 1-0, swing and a miss. 1-1, good sinker there from Peterson. Santana's on deck for the Cubs. Tying run on third. Again, if you miss it, the Mets got a leadoff home run to begin the game for Francisco Lindor. It's the 1-1. That's sold in. It's 2-1 now. Peterson will come sets. The 2-1. That's slow, and it's 3-1 now. Santana on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Mets. Game 1 of this series. A 3-game set. Peterson will come set. The 3-1. Hit inside, ball 4. Going to put runners in the corners now for Carlos Santana. Chance here for the veteran to tie this game back up at 1. Home runs, 52 RBIs for Santana. 217 average on the season. 123 games played. And some of the infielders are going to talk with Alvarez and Peterson on the mound. Probably to discuss what to do if Kelly tries to steal second. I'd imagine with not the best speed, they'll at least throw it down. However, Horner has good speed, so you want to be careful here not to give up a run before getting the out. So you got to imagine Horner's going to try and get a little extra step. First pitch, that's slowing in for ball 1. At the same time, I don't think the Cubs are going to try and steal with Kelly and risk that play happening and working out in the Mets' favor. I'd rather just try and see Santana do the damage himself. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball pulled foul. It's 1-1 now. Dansby Swanson is on deck for the Cubs. The last 15 games for the Mets, they have a 4-11 record. They're scoring 4 runs a game. They have a minus 14 run differential. Get this, their starter ERA is 5.27. It's a sinker to knees and a strike to Santana, 1-2 now. So starter is already giving up more runs than what the Mets offense score total, average-wise. That's not a recipe for success. And they factor on a reliever area at around 4. That does not help. 1-2, check swing. Kelly goes to second. He steals it. Bit of an awkward play. He was just going, and I think Alvarez was not throwing down anyways. I mean, he was looking for a check swing. Here's the 2-2. Fly ball right field. Soto goes back on the track. He misses it. He falls. 2 Cubs runs are going to score. This is going to be tied at 2. We talked about his defensive struggles out there in the outfield. He lets an easy catch go, drop behind him, and the Cubs are up 2-1 there in the bottom of the first. It's being ruled as a double right now, and I feel like that's going to change. That's going to stay. That was just not well read by Soto. He looked back a couple times and just did not play that right in right field. So Santana drives in a pair on a double. It's 2-1 Cubs. Here's Swanson, the pitch. Ground ball pulled. Lindor charges, fires the first in time for the third down. The Cubs score 2 and take the lead. 1 to the second in Chicago. 2-1 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to the top of the second inning. Cubs on top, 2-1 after a misplay in right field from Juan Soto on the 2-run double from Carlos Santana. And the Cubs have taken the lead 2-1. But some big news today. The automated ball and strike system, the ABS challenge system, it will be introduced full time in the MLB season next year. Basically, each team will get 2 challenges for that. And basically just tap your head. No help is allowed from any dugout or players, and an extra challenge will be awarded if there are none left in the extra innings. So each team gets 2 challenges for ABS. It'll be interesting when players try to use them. Of course, if Happ had one, he probably would have used one and then at bat in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the first pitch from Horan. High fly ball right field. And sliding and making the catch is Seiya Suzuki. That is how you play defense out there in the outfield. Fastball in on the hands on Beatty and just lines it out the right field. Seiya was able to make the sliding catch for this first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Cade. He was definitely trying to rebound from that top of the first inning. Give up a couple hits, a home run, and a double. Or a single. Here's the pitch to Marte. Fastball right there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That's inside 1-1. On to Marte, swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Be the 20th pitch of the game for Cade. 1-2, fly ball center field. ECA goes back into his left a bit. Cam Sumner, though, makes the catch for the second out. So a little flare line out and a second fly out. There's 2 outs now. We have Jeff McNeil. First pitch. Her ball at the knees. That's a strike on one. One McNeil line drive center field, but that is right to Pete. That's a quick 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the second we go in Chicago. 2-1 Cubs on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back here to the bottom of the second inning here in Chicago. The Cubs on top of the Mets 2-1. Justin Turner lead it off here in the bottom of the second inning. One of the 13 individual strikeouts this season was thrown by David Peterson. He had 6 hits, struck out 6. And there's only 13 shutouts thrown this season in MLB total. That is well below average, 13 below the next fewest, which was in 2019. There's only been 29 complete games as well. So, I mean, this comes from the fact that analytics. Here's the first pitch to Turner. It's up for ball one. And you look at the analytics. I mean, managers are pulling pitchers or starters earlier and in situations where you would not pull a starter back 6, 7, 8 to 15 and beyond years ago. But because of analytics kind of changing the game and influencing and putting pressure on the manager to make these decisions, as it's 3-0 now on Turner, now you're kind of taking away that human element out of the game and trusting the analytics department's decision now. With injuries being more rampant, so here's a 3-0. It's off the plate, a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. But injuries being more rampant, the pitch clock making it where pitchers probably get a little more fatigued faster. I understand the numbers dropping. This Matt Shaw will be up next. Bottom of the second. But I just... It's been an interesting number there. First pitch to Shaw is a sinker on the corner for a strike on one. A one line drive in the left field hole. That's a single for Shaw. It's runners on first and second out for the Cubs, and that'll bring up Pete Armstrong, the 9-hole hitter. Nobody out. Couple hits in a row for the Cubs. First pitch to Pete. Shows bunt. Lays it down. It's a good one. Go to first just in time for the first out. Excellent sac bunt for Pete as Beatty to Alonso made the play. I'll put a couple Cubs runners in scoring position now in second and third for Nico, who singled in his first at bat of the game. For Pete, he's been struggling, and when you go lefty-lefty, it's tough to hit. Do the right thing. Drop it down. It was a good bunt. Giving Hoerner a chance to drive in a pair. It's a first pitch sinker for a strike on 1 on Nico. This season for David Peterson, lefties are hitting .228 against him with only 1 home run. Righties are hitting .261 against him with 10 home runs. So 11 home runs given up overall as a starter. Here's the 0-1. That's sold in with a changeup. It's 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the second, 2-1 Cubs. 3 hits in the game for Chicago, 2 for the Mets. 1-1. Ground ball pulled foul. It's 1-2 now. This is where for Nico, if you get a pitch around the plate, and with Peterson, he's probably going to try and get him to get something in the outside corner. Just try and slap knock it the other way. 1-2. This is one pulled foul again. And for the second time tonight, a Cubs on deck person has nearly been hit by a foul ball on the ground. Ball and 2 strikes on Hoerner, 1 out. Justin Turner on third, Matt Shaw on second, a walk and a single for them. 1-2. And a dirt good block from Alvarez, and PCA moved them over on a sac bunt. It's a curveball from Peterson. You just spiked that. Let's do it the infield end. Make it easier to get a little bloop single. Here's the 2-2. Line drive. That's over the head of Lindor. That'll score 1. Shaw will play station to station. It's 3-1 Cubs here in the bottom of the second. Got a sinker over there to third, and he just lines it out over the infield plane in. Second hit of the game for Hoerner, and he has an RBI. Now we're going to be in Happ now. He's 0 for 1. He struck out looking in his last at-bats. And very not bad. He got a strike call, which did not look like a strike. That's off the play for ball 1. But Nico hitting .301. That's second in the National League in batting average leaders. Trey Turner ahead of him at .305. .1-0. That's at the knees or a little low. It's 1-1. Happ's not happy, and again, if the box is correct, that is about a half an inch low. Maybe even a little less, maybe a quarter of an inch low. It's close, but here's the 1-1. That's at the knees. That one was a strike. It's 1-2 now. Cubs fans not happy, but that one was a good pitch. That was a changeup at the knees. 1-2 now in Happ. Already 3 pitches for David Peterson here in this game. 1-2. That's sold in. It's 2-2 now. Gotta imagine if Happ gets one more called below the zone, he's gonna get upset. You might see some confrontation if that happens. The 2-2. Ground ball pulled foul. It's the 40th pitch of the game as Brazoban is warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. And you've already thrown 40 pitches, given up 3 runs, and you're desperately trying to win games, get back in the playoff spot. You're going to make these decisions. 2-2. Off the plate. I don't know what the changeup is going to run full now on Happ. Seiya Suzuki is on deck. Cubs have piled on 3 runs against the Mets in the first inning and the third. Chance to add more. The 3-2. Line drive, left field. This is going to get into the gap. This will score 1. Horner's going to get on his horse. He's going to make the turn. He's going to come home and score a couple more runs for the Cubs, and it's 5-1. Excellent base running for Nico Hoerner to go on contacts. That's a 2 spot and a 3 spot for the Cubs in the first 2 innings against Peterson. And Hoerner immediately knew it. Excellent base running. He was also stealing on that play, and he just never slowed down. That allowed him to score easily. Here's Seiya. 0 for 1 with the ground out. Back to Peterson. And that's going to be it for David Peterson. We'll come back to this. Cousins Top 5-1 on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to Shy Sports Live. Cubs have knocked out David Peterson. As Huascar Brazoban was a first pitch strike. It's the 0-1. There's a strikeout and 2 on Suzuki. And for Peterson, went inning and a third through 42 pitches. He had 5 hits, 5 runs, all were earned. Walked 2, struck out 1. Cubs have hit him hard. And Suzuki fouls that one off still on 2. Here's the 0-2. Fly ball right field down the line. It's tailing and stretching, but it's going to be foul. 0-2 on Suzuki. Reservain will fire. Just a late swing and a missed strike 3. That's on number 2. For Razvan, 58 on the third innings pitch. This is his 50th appearance of the game. Kelly walked in his last plate appearance. He's up now. First pitch, ground ball pulled. Beatty grabs it. He'll fly to first in time for the third out. The Cubs had 3 more and knock out the Mets starter of this game early. Went to the third in Chicago on Shy Sports Live. Cubs on top 5-1. Welcome back into the top of the third in Chicago. The Cubs on top 5-1 here on Shy Sports Live. On the Gold Gloves on the Cubs defense. They have 3 in left for Happ, 2 for Swanson at short, 1 for Nico Horner at second, and Carlos Santana does have 1. 7 Gold Gloves total, and 5 out of 9 defenders. 5 out of 8 defenders, not including Cade Horton, have Gold Gloves as Francisco Alvarez will step in against Cade Horton. In the top of the third, first pitch. Fastball on the outer third, that's a strike 0-1. Cubs struck for 3 in the bottom of the second. 0-1. That's a strike in the knees, 0-2. Check set in the 0-2. Swing and a miss up and off of the fastball, blows Alvarez away for the first out. And for Cade, that'll get him his second strikeout of the game tonight. Fastball 96 just blew him away. I think the man that's done the only damage so far for the Mets, Francisco Lindor, led off the game with a home run left center field. First pitch, curveball, that's a strike 0-1. Cubs got a pair in the bottom of the second, thanks to Carlos Santana, 2-run double. 0-1 to Lindor, that's up and away with a change of 1-1. And added 3 spots in the bottom of the second. It's 5-1. Here's the 1-1. Line drive center field. Tise comes in, makes the catch, and does a little slide for the second out. So Cade continuing to make quick work of these Mets hitters. I'll bring Juan Soto now. He's 1 for 1 today with a line drive single to right. Just second at bat of the game. And at that point in time, you're thinking, are we going to have a issue with Cade tonight? But since that single from Soto, he's pitched really well. There's a ground ball rolled right to Santana. That's another quick inning for Cade. Puts it about a third in Chicago. 5-1 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to the bottom of the third. Carlos Santana will lead it off for the Cubs. 1-for-1 with that 2-run double to right field. Juan Soto did not play it well, which tends to happen with him. Sorry, Michael Busch is in the game now. There's a ground ball hit to first, and that's the first down. So Santana only gets one at bat. Wonder if there's something wrong with Santana because he's not expecting Busch to come in the bottom of the third. Dansby Swanson's up next for Chicago for 1 tonight with a ground out. Brazoban will pitch the complete inning now, only 7 pitches. First pitch to Swanson is a sinker right there for strike 1. So the first 2 innings took about 35 minutes, but the last couple half innings, at least for Cade, pitching-wise, has been very fast. 0-1, swinging a miss, 0-2 now. That's in part due to Cade just continuing to fire strikes. Now, part of his success is not really by trying to live around the edges and hope you get a call or not. As Swanson grounds this one towards third, Beatty will grab it and he'll fire to first for the second out. But he's just fine. He's getting the ball and firing it. So a couple quick outs for Brazoban in this bottom of the third. Don't bring up Justin Turner. Walked in his last plate appearance. First pitch. Outside corner sinker. That's a strike on 1. A 1 fly ball right side. That's out of play. 0-2 now on Turner. Walking a run scored for Turner tonight. Down 0-2 in this count. Change up low, 1-2 now. One, two, waves of that one off the plate, fouls it off. It's still 1-2 now. And that's a broken bat for Turner. That was a good 5-6 inches off the plate, and he just kind of just threw his bat out towards it, broke it in the process. As Mike Soroka is getting loose in that Cubs bullpen. Unknown reasons why that's the case too. So maybe Cade is also having some sort of issue here. He had to leave a game one time due to a blister. Here's the 1-2. Little one-hop liner to Lindor. He'll grab it and fire the first in time for the third out. Cubs go down in order 1, 2, 3. We'll add to the fourth. 5-1 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago. Mike Soroka is in the game now for Chicago, making his 20th appearance of the season. Unsure why exactly Cade is not getting more than 3 innings. I have to try and figure out what the decision for that is. His first 3 innings were, besides the home run to lead off the game, his first 3 innings were lights out. So, possibly an arm issue. Out of he's talking with Craig Counsell right now, unsure exactly what. So I have to see why, I'll try and update you why Cade left the game so early. He only threw 30 pitches in this game, or 29 pitches in this game. So, to see exactly why. Pete Alonso will lead off for the Cubs. Or for the Mets, sorry. First pitch is low and away for a ball. What's interesting, though, is to see that Soroka was already getting up before, while Horn was already pitching. This wasn't I'm coming in to pitch, or my guy's injured and I need a pitcher. It's 2-0 now, and Alonso. It was already, he was already up warming up. So, unsure exactly what's going on with Cade and why they brought him out that early. So, 2-0 Alonso's at the knees and a strike, 2-1. So, we'll try and get an update for you all. exactly why Cade left. I mean, it's probably a planned exit. However, I'm sure. I mean, there's still time for the Mets to come back and win. There's a foul ball. It's 2-2 now. I guess because he won't be having any more starts in the regular season, you don't want to risk injuring him. You probably don't want the Mets to make the playoffs. Here's the 2-2. Outside corner, that's a perfect pitch, strike three. Alonso goes down on strikes. So the final line for Cade, 3 innings, through 29 pitches, 23 strikes, 6 balls, 2 hits, 1 run. That one was earned. That was the home run from Lindor, a couple strikeouts. So good outing, and nonetheless, on what probably is a planned exit after 3 innings. So here's the pitch to Nimmo. That's at the knees and the strike on 1. The ground ball pulled towards second. Horner will grab it and an underhand flip at the bush for the second out. I mean, the Mets are probably not going to do much off of the Cubs anyways, based off of their last couple week trends of offense. But 2 outs as, hey, John Mulaney's at the ballpark. Comedian, Cubs fan. I think John Cusack is also at the ballpark too. I'm unsure. That's true. There's a swing and a miss and a strike on Vientos. Oh, 1. Line drive, left field, asking to drop in front of Happ for a base hit. It's the first hit of the game for the Mets since the first inning. We have Brett Baty. So 2 outs for Baty. Vientos is on first. Line drive single. Baty lined out on his last plate appearance. First pitch. Nice off-speed pitch for a strike at the knees on 1. The 0-1. It's also the knees and a strike. 0-2 now on Baty. Couple good breaking pitches there from Soroka, catching the knees. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 4th, 1 on for the Mets. Cubs on top, 5-1. Baty called his timeout. He'll step back into the box. The 0-2. And the Durko block from Kelly. No offer from Baty. It's 1-2 now. Here's the 1-2. Up and in on the hands. 2-2 now on Baty. The Cubs are just trying to get these outs with whoever's pitching. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 4th. 5-1 Cubs to pitch. Ground ball rolled over. Bush will backhand and a step on the bank for the 3rd out. Mets get a hit but don't score. Woods at the bottom of the 4th in Chicago. 5-1 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to the bottom of the fourth inning in Chicago. Cubs on top 5-1 over the New York Mets, who continue to struggle offensively. 3 hits in the game. However, 2 of those 3 hits came in the first inning. So Matt Shaw will step in. First pitch is a sinker by Rozabon at the knees for a strike. A 1, that's a chopper by Shaw, foul. 0-2 now. Also, it was indeed a pre-planned exit for Cade Horton, who is the presumed number 1 starter for the first wild card game of the series. And what we presume will be the Mets. Here's a chopper foul. The difference is, will it be in San Diego or will it be here at Wrigley Field? 0-2 on Shaw. And he swings and misses and strikes out for the first out. Go on now to bring up Pete Armstrong, had a sac bunt in his last plate appearance, which allowed the Cubs to drive in 2 runs. Just past an hour here in tonight's ball game. All 5 of the Cubs' runs came in the first 2 innings. That's up and away with a sinker for ball 1. Pete hitting .245 in the season, still that 1 home run shy of a 30-30-30 season. Here's the 1-0. That's off the plate, 2-0 now. .2-0, line or foul back to the screen, 2-1 now. Again, the Mets, their only run in the game was a leadoff home run to start the game from Francisco Lindor. The 2-2, little flare past the diving glove of Lindor, and that's going to be a base hit for Pete. And Lindor's a little slow to get up, but he's okay, I think. But Pete has a base hit. I'm going to bring up the man who's 2 for 2 today. A couple singles, driven in a run. As a pickoff into first, Pete back in time. Pitch up and in nearly hits Horner for a ball, 1-0. Nico 2 for 2, 2 singles, an RBI, 2 runs, also has a stolen base. The 1-0, that's a strike, 1-1. Zobin comes set to pitch. Just off the plate, 2-1 now. Two one, Grumble it hard, right to Beatty. He'll flip on the second for 1, and the turn is well thrown offline, and will go into the Mets dugout. That's going to be a fielder's choice and an error on McNeil. Pete's on third right now. Not sure why Pete is on third. The Cubs might be looking at a potential. No, he left the field. Sorry. That is going to be a fielding error or a throwing error on McNeil. Here's Ian Happ, 1 for 2 today. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Happ struck out and drove in 2 on an RBI double, on the 2-run double. One-0, that's a sink in the knees for a strike. 1-1 now on Happ. And one, Grumble pulled towards the hole. McNeil makes a sliding play and he throws it away again. Warner's going to score. Cubs score again. It's 6-1, and that's 2 errors now for Jeff McNeil. That should be just a regular error. And a nice sliding play, but just threw it away. And 6-1 Cubs. I'll also have to see if they... Okay, so they're going to rule the single... Okay, so they're going to rule this single... It's the second error of the game now for McNeil. So it's a single and a run scored. No RBI. 6-1 Cubs. Here's Seiya Suzuki. First pitch misses low inside with a changeup is 1-0. So that's 2 errors now for the Mets in the inning, both on McNeil. Seiya 0 for 2 tonight on ground on strikeouts. 1-0. That's at the knees and a strike. 1-1. Zobin comes set. 1-1. Ground ball pulled towards Lindor. He'll grab up to second for the easy out there. Cubs add 1 thanks to a pair of errors by McNeil. To the 5th inning we go in Chicago. 6-1 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to the Chicago Cubs on tap. 6-1. Michael Soroka in for his second inning of work. 14 pitches in that first inning. Give up one hit, but Mets only had 3 hits since that first, or 1 hit since that first inning where they had 2 hits. 3 overall, a couple of errors that contributed to a run scoring in the bottom of the 4th. And Starling Marte will lead it off for the Mets. 0 for 1 to fly out. It's a fastball pulled off the plate by Soroka for ball 1. 1-0, that's slow. It's 2-0 now on Marte. Ryan Stanek is getting loose in that Mets bullpen right now. The 2-0, that's a strike, 2-1 on Marte. Two balls and a strike. Nobody out. And it's 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strike. Soroka against Marte. Cubs on top, 6-1. Three one chopper hit towards third, but it's foul. It's gonna be full now. Soroka ready. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball hard up the middle. That's a base hit for Marte. 102.5 in the exit velo. And Mets have a runner on board and with good speed here. Catch the Cubs tomorrow and Thursday, 24th to 25th of September here against the Mets. Get your tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. The Cubs try and push the Mets further out of the playoff race. Jeff McNeil will step in now for the Mets. 0 for 1 to line out. This pitch from Soroka is up and away with a curveball for ball 1. It's going to require 15 more outs for the Cubs. Just a 1-0. Flare to behind second base. It is caught and nearly doubling up Marte. So 1 gone. That'll bring up Francisco Alvarez. 0 for 1. Struck out swinging in his last at bat. First pitch, front door curveball, that's a strike, 0-1 on Alvarez. And that's pulled out the plate from Soroka. It's 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 5th, 1 on for the Mets. 6-1 Cubs. 5 combined runs in the first 2 innings. Picked up a 6th run in the bottom half of the 4th inning due to a couple fielding errors from Jeff McNeil. Here's the 1-1. We'll have to play with the curveball low. 2-1 now. Two-one, chopper, a chance for 2, and it gets past Dansby. Gets in the left center field. Marte's going to take 3rd, and Alvarez is going to take 2nd. See what they ruled that one. We are going to rule it indeed an error, so. was playable for Swanson. So runners on second and third now, and Tommy Hotovy is going to come out to chat with Soroka. As Taylor Rogers is getting loose in Cubs bullpen. Cubs on top, 6-1. First pitch. Back to a curveball on door. That's a strike on one. Soroka will, and timeouts called by Lindor. Only timeouts Lindor's allowed in the at-bat. The 0-1. Ground ball hit hard. Horner's going to grab it. A run's going to score. Makes the play to first for the second out. So it's 6-2 Cubs now. And that little extra insurance run via a couple errors has kept it a 4-run game. So anyway, Juan Soto, however, a blast here, and that's a 3-run game. First pitch is a changeup up and away for ball one. Oh, that's Otuno now. Here's Soroka, you're probably saying, you really don't want to give this some man something to hit. Lipka gives a ball on a pitch he's been calling a strike all night. It's 3-0 now. It's not been the best night for Lipka back there. He's called a couple strikes that are pretty down. That's really the first strike that he's called a ball tonight. Here's the 3-0. Up and away, ball 4. I'll put runners on the corners now with 2 outs for Alonso. First walk issue from Soroka tonight. By the way, Soto's only 26. Only 26, and he has over 200 career home runs and 1,000 hits. If he's still he's probably going to be transitioned into an everyday DH hitter at some point in his career. But if he continues hitting the ball out of the ballpark at this pace, here's Alonso. First pitch to him is a line drive, right field, hit well. This ball is off the top of the wall. 1 run's going to come in and score. Soto's going to hit third. This is going to be a very long single for Pete Alonso. It's 6-3 Mets now. .112 miles per hour exit field. That was a sinker right down the middle. Soroka threw his hands up. Immediately knew that ball was hit hard, and for him and the Cubs, they're lucky that ball was not a few feet higher. And that's going to be it for Soroka. Probably was going to be the last batter anyways, but they'll depart. Rogers will come in. We'll be back into this. Cubs on top 6-3 on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back here to Shine Sports Live. Taylor Rogers making his 56th appearance of the season. Next to first pitch to Brandon Nimmo. It's a strike. 48 and a 2/3 innings pitch, so one more out. He'll hit 49 innings, 3.14 ERA. So he is looking to get this final out. Here's the 0-1. High fly ball hit well to right field. Suzuki goes back. He looks up. It is out of here, and we are tied at 6. The 25th home run of the season for Brandon Nimmo. And that's 5 unanswered runs for the Mets in inning. 97.5 miles per hour on exit velo. The distance of 388 feet, and it's 6-6. That was a hanging curveball, and Nimmo did not miss that one. First row out there in the right field seats. First pitch to Vientos is popped up. Left field. Happ will come in. Make the catch. But the Mets did the damage, struck for 5 in the inning. Wood to the bottom of the 5th, halfway home in Chicago on Shine Sports Live, tied at 6. Welcome back here to the bottom of the 5th on Shine Sports Live. A 5-run top of this 5th inning for the Mets has tied it back up at 6. An error on Swanson kind of helped hurt this game for the Cubs. But scoring plays was a RBI single. Pete Alonso, 3-run home run for Brandon Nimmo. First pitch from Ryan Stanek to Carson Kelly is a strike, 0-1. It's 1-1 now. That slider's out the plate. So 5 spot for the Mets in the 5th. What do the Cubs offense have in them here? Stanek will come set, so 1-1. Fouled off the screen, 1-2 now on Kelly. Kelly's 0 for 1 today, has a walk and a ground out. And what looked like a cruise control game for the Cubs is now a nail biter with a team that's desperately trying to win games and make the playoffs. The 1-2 popped up right side out of play. It's going to stay at 1-2. You got to expect that from the Mets. They're fighting for a playoff spot, a wild card position. And they have to win these games. Only tie with the Mets and wild card, but the Reds had the tiebreaker. It's another jam shot, playable for Alonso on the line, and he makes the catch. No, he drops it while falling into the netting, into a spot where the netting was not fully secure because of the little door out right there. He initially caught it, and then as he landed, he fell, and the ball hit the netting and him, which is why they ruled it a no catch. So it's 1-2 on Alonso. Hopefully he's okay. He looks okay. So it's 1-2 on Alonso, or on Kelly. Round ball hit towards Lindor. He'll grab it, ranging to his left, fire the first in time for the first out. I'm gone. Now to bring up Michael Busch. 0-for-1 today with a ground out to Alonso. This is the 63rd appearance of the season for Stanek. 54 innings and a 5.17 ERA. First pitch, backdoor off-speed, misses off the plate for ball one. Busch, so far the only Cub with 30 home runs on the season. Hit that in Cincinnati. Check swing, appeal to third. They say he went. Strike one. Looked like he went in real time, too. Side replay does show he went. 1-1. Right there for a strike 1-2 now on Busch. Stanek will come set. 1-2. In the dirt, no offer. 2-2 now on Busch. A very important score in Cincinnati right now. Here's a 2-2. That's in the dirt full now. Pirates are on top of Cincinnati 4-2 in that game. So if the Mets do end up coming back and winning, Mets will reclaim that final wild card positioning. But if the Mets lose, the Reds still have that final wild card spot locked. Here's a 3-2. Up, and that's ball four. Busch will reach on a walk. Stanek got him down 0-2 and fired 4 straight balls. We're going to Dansby Swanson 0-for-2 tonight. A couple ground outs to the left side in the infield. So, a lot of good games tonight. The White Sox are in top 2-1 over the Yankees, and the Blue Jays are currently trailing the Red Sox right now, so the Yankees are trying to fight to get back within the game of trying to Swanson swings and misses for strike one for that division. So the White Sox can hang on there. That's going to be here's the 0-1. There's a laser miss pickoff attempt to first. Busch is back in time. It's 0-2 on Swanson. A little too far out the bag, but the back pick was not in time. The 0-2 is low. It's 1-2 now on Swanson. 6 runs, 6 hits, a pair of errors for the Mets tonight. Both of those errors are on Jeff McNeil. Both are throwing errors. Cubs has six runs on 7 hits and an error by Dansby Swanson on a fielding error. Busch goes early. There's a foul ball. Bush would have had that stolen base easily if Swanson was unable to make contact there. Similar to an earlier stolen base against Cade Horton, he just got an easy jump. Got a half a second head start before the pitcher's even palm. 1-2 to on Swanson. Bush retreats back to first. Just a 1-2. Popped up right side, tailing and now looking out of the play, and the at-bat will continue. Preseason hockey is starting again around the league. Blackhawks Red Wings was actually going to be at a game that I was going to broadcast tonight as Stanek steps off for disengagement, his first of the at-bat. However, due to an earlier headache, I could not prepare. And there's a pickoff. So that's the second disengagement now for Stanek. This time was called by someone else, but I believe that's the second disengagement now for Ryan Stanek. Ball a couple strikes on Swanson. 1-2. Let's pull out the plate. 2-2 now on Dansby. Second at bat in a row that Stanek has gotten the hitter he's faced in the two-strike hole early and then struggling to put him away. 2-2. That's a good block from Alvarez. It's full now. Back-to-back full counts. Seems like neither team wants to win tonight. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Tied at 6. Till that top half of the 5th inning, Cubs were in control of this game. 3-2. High fly ball, center field. Nimmo will go back, now will come in, and he will make the catch for the second out. Dansby just a little under that off-speed pitch. Now we have Justin Turner now with 2 outs. So for 1 tonight as a walk and a ground out. Chance here to try and get a run in. 20 pitches for Stanek in the inning. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Yeah, 99 from Stanek. A 1 popped up out of play. 0-2 now on Turner. And 2, that's up and away. 2-2 now. Sorry, 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, 6-6. 1 on for Chicago. Stanek will come set to pitch. Check swinging. Went off the bat of Turner. Foul. It's still 1-2. Stanek will come set. The 1-2. Call strike 3 on the outside corner was a strike, and that's out number 3. Went to the 6th in Chicago. We're tied at 6 on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago Cubs and Mets tied at 6. Top of the 6th inning as Brett Beatty will step in for the Mets. 0 for 2 tonight. A line on the ground now to face Taylor Rogers. He hit up a 3-run home run in the top of the 5th inning, which tied it up. That home run was hit by Brandon Nimmo. First pitch to him is a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's also a strike. 0-2 now on Beatty. Rogers will come set. The 0-2. Flare to left field is tailing. This one will get out of play. Count will stay at 0-2. The ball's 2 strikes. Pitch is right there on the corner for strike 3. That's on number 1. Good pitch from Rogers. For Beatty, he was just caught looking. Now we have Marte now with 1 gone. It's good. Painted on the outer third at 93. Beatty knew it immediately. So here's Starlin Marte, 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch is a curveball for a strike. It's a fly out and a single. That single kicked off that 5-run 5th. Also scored a run. 0-1. That catches inside corner for a strike. 0-2. By the way, well, first thing, the Reds did indeed lose. No, then Cleveland beat the Tigers. So here's the 0-2. That's inside 1-2 now. So that divisional race is going to be heavily influenced in AL Central by this series against the Tigers and the final 3 games of the season. 1-2, that misses in. It's 2-2 now. By the way, it's 2-1 White Sox still in that game against the Yankees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Marte. Rogers will come set. The pitch. Inside, 3 straight inside pitches. It's full now on Marte. And the Red Sox are currently beating the Blue Jays right now. So Yankees could climb within the game back of them, but if they lose, here's another harder ground ball, this time right at Swanson. He'll grab it and fire the first in time for the second out. But if the Blue Jays lose, but the White Sox beat the Yankees, that'll help the Blue Jays and crank that magic number down once for that divisional race. The Blue Jays do have the best record in the American League. For the moment, via divisional leaders. There's a hard line drive over the leaping out of Bush from McNeil. He's going to make the turn ahead to second. The throw from Suzuki is going to be offline. That's a 2-out double for Jeff McNeil. Francisco Alvarez. 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout swinging and ground out air. That was the air from Swanson. That was a good piece of hitting there from McNeil. And Craig's going to come out. Rogers will depart. So we will be back into this. Cubs and Mets tied at 6. In the top of the 6th with 2 outs on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago. First pitch from Drew Pomeranz to Francisco Alvarez is the ball. 55th appearance out of the bullpen for Pomeranz. 2.30 ERA. Here's the 1-0. Now on apparently missed slow for the second time tonight. That was not a good call from Lipka at a pitch that was definitely a strike. Here's a 2-0. That's also low and in. That's 3-0 now. So 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Cubs and Mets tied at 6. However, the Mets are threatening with a runner on second. That's 4 straight pitches out of the zone for Pomeranz. Well, really only 3, but regardless, it's a 4-pitch walk, and that'll bring up Lindor, who's 1 for 3 now. And Alvarez is the man that you wanted to get out there. All right, that home run from Lindor was also driven a pair of our runs tonight, a home run and later in the game. He's a home run shy of a 30 home run season. Pomeranz will come set. The pitch. And next to the inside corner on a curveball for a strike 0-1. Pomeranz will come set. 0-1. And that's so it's 1-1 now. One, foul tipped into the glove. 1-2 now on Lindor. Cubs fans are going to get a little loud trying to manifest this out here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for the Mets. Tied at 6 on the top of the 6th. Juan Soto is on deck. 1-2. That's low. It's 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a pair on for the Mets. Cubs trying to get out of this inning with the tie still preserved. Remember, for just saying, it was 5 or 6-1 Cubs at one point. The 2-2. High pop fly left field. It's tailing. This one's going to be out of play. We'll do it again. Balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Line drive, that's up the middle, and the Mets will take the lead. McNeil's going to score. Alvarez will hold at second. It is now 7-6 Mets. And that is 6 unanswered runs for the Mets in this game since the bottom of the 4th when the Cubs took a 6-1 lead. And we have Juan Soto, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Single, a ground out, and a walk. First pitch up and away for ball 1. Juan also has a stolen base tonight. 1-0, popped out of play. 1-1 now. Pomeranz will come set. 1-1. Fouled out the screen again. 1-2 now. On Soto. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 6th. 7-6 Mets. As we approach the 2-hour mark in tonight's ball game. 1-2. Another foul ball. Starting to think the Cubs should have let Cade go a couple more innings tonight. Or at least they try and get him to the 5th inning. Here's the 1-2. Outside corner, perfect pitch, call strike 3. Mets do take the lead, though, at an RBI single from Francisco Lindor. What's at the bottom of the 6th? 7-6 Mets on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago Cubs. Trail the Mets now 6-5 as Gregory Soto is now in the pitch. For the New York Mets, it was 6-1 Cubs at one point, and 6 unanswered for the Mets have really hurt the Cubs. Matt Shaw will step in now for the Cubs. 1 for 2 tonight. It's a single, a left field, and a strikeout swing. First pitch, sinker to top of the zone for a strike on 1. Back-to-back pitches at the top of the zone and strikes 0-2 now on Shaw. The 0-2. High fly ball deep to left field, but that's foul. It's the 0-2. Oh, 2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Second time Shaw's go down on strikes. One out on Pico Armstrong is 1 for 1 today. Sacrifice bunt and a single. First pitch misses up for ball one, 1-0. On a line drive, right field, but right at Soto for the second out. So now for Kellyanne Holm, the Cubs are down to their final 10 outs in tonight's ball game, with now being down by a run. We got Nico Horner 2 for 3 tonight, a couple singles and a ground out. First pitch popped up, right side, and we'll get out of play for a foul ball and strike one. Let's play a couple more against the Mets. Finish the season against the Cardinals. A 1-1 on Horner. The pitch. Just a hair off the plate, 1-1 now. Fly ball right field, asking to get out of play. 1-2 now on Horner. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, 7-6 Cubs. Or Mets, sorry. Cubs were up 6-1 at one point. It's now 7-6. Here's the 1-2. Another foul ball. 8 hits for the Mets. Pair of errors by McNeil. 7 hits for the Cubs. 6 hits for the Cubs. An error by Dansby Swanson, which helped contribute to that 5-run fifth. 1-2. Line drive, right field. Soto will play it on the hop. That's a base hit for Nico Horner, his third of the game. Cubs have a tying run aboard now for Ian Happ, who's 2 for 3 tonight. The sinker up and in, and Nico just goes Zappos away with it. Inside out swing. Just lines it in the right field. Happ struck out, doubled, and singled tonight. That's going to be it for Gregory Soto. Well, the part after this, Cubs trail by 1 but have a runner on. 7-6 Mets on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago. First pitch from the new pitcher, Tyler Rogers, the brother of Taylor. There's the first pitch ball. 78th appearance of the season was with San Francisco. It's a 1.95 ERA, so it's been another good year for Tyler. 1-0. Line to left field and foul. 1-1 now. Just crossed the 2-hour mark here in Chicago. It's been a long game. A lot of pitchers used for both teams. So Rogers will come set. 1-1. It's on the way 2-1 now. That's also off the plate. 3-1 now to Happ. Tying run at the first. Go ahead run at the plate. A lot of intense baseball play being played here in the final 2 series of the season remaining. Reds already lost, so if the Mets do hang on and win, then the Reds will officially be 1 game back of the wild card. Here's the 3-1. That's it's ball 4. So a 2-out single and a 2-out walk. That's the Cubs in business for Seiya Suzuki, who's hitless tonight. A couple groundouts and a strikeout. 0 for 3 overall. But the Cubs come back and beat the Mets, then the Reds will stay steady at that final wild card position, a game up on the Mets. With the tiebreaker, it seems like the Mets are tied with the Reds, and Rogers is going to step off. That's a disengagement. Pitch clock was running out. First pitch, Suzuki, line drive off the glove of Rogers, gets into center field. Hoerner's going to make the turn. He's going to come out around the score without a throw. We are tied at 7. Man, has this game been a good one. 2-out RBI single for Seiya Suzuki. Cubs tie back up at 7. And I'm around Carson Kelly, who's hitless tonight. A walk and a pair of groundouts. And out of the bullpen, Rogers has served up a walk and a RBI single. Chance here for Kelly to give the Cubs the lead. First pitch fouled off. Strike 1. Didn't sound like he made contact with it, but he did. No balls and a strike. Round ball right at Rogers. He grabs it, turns to third, now turns to first, and makes the play for the 3rd out. But the Cubs do score and tie it back up at 7. Well to the 7th in Chicago on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live. Top of the 7th here in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Cubs and Mets tied at 7. Cubs just tied it up in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to Pete Alonso from Andrew Kittredge is a ground ball to Shaw. He'll grab it, turn, and fire to first in time for the first out. We'll keep it here after the bird out of this half inning for the 7th-inning stretch. Kittredge is making his 53rd appearance of the season, a 3.53 ERA. And here's the man that originally tied it up. Now in the 5th inning at 6, Brandon Nimmo hit a 3-run home run in this game. His only hit of the game. First pitch from Kittredge. Sinker to knees into strike 0-1. It was a 25th home run of the season for Nimmo and drew in RBIs number 89, 90, and 91. Here's the 0-1. Top of the zone. John Lipka does not get the call there. It's 1-1. It's borderline. It's not awful, but it's a call you'd like to see made. Here's the 1-1. That's at the knees, and that's a strike 1-2 now on Nimmo. Kittredge will come set. 1-2. Ground ball pulled towards second. Horner's going to grab it and fire for the second out. So 2 gone inning, and that'll bring up Mark Vientos. He's 1 for 3 tonight, a strikeout, a single, and a flyout. Cubs defense has played pretty good defense against him. There's 2 lineouts where the Cubs defense playing some sliding catches of the first pitch strike to Vientos. Seiya Suzuki and Pico Armstrong both making sliding catches against them. Here's the 0-1. Nice slider. It's 0-2 now and a swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Tied at 7 in Chicago. Game 1 of this 3-game set. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's set number 3. That's a quick 1-2-3 top half of the 7th inning. It's time for the stretch time in Chicago here on Shy Sports Live. We'll be back after this. Seven Cubs and Mets tied. We'll be back in 30 seconds on Shy Sports Live. Bottom of the seventh here in Chicago. Cubs and Mets tied at 7. First pitch to Michael Busch is a strike. Busch 0 for 1 tonight. Ground out on a walk. Came in for Carlos Santana in the third inning to pinch hit and play defensively. 0-1 line drive smoked but foul. It's 0-2 now. Now 2 off the plate, 1-2 now. Caleb Thielbar is getting loose in that Cubs pen. The 1-2 popped out of play. That's inside. It's 2-2 now on Busch. Two off the plate. It's full now. It's foul to play. Count will stay full. By the way, the Yankees have just tied it up with the White Sox in the bottom of the ninth inning on a wild pitch at 2. So, Yankees do clinch a playoff spot with the win tonight. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Never mind, they're saying it's a foul ball. I think that's the wrong call. The replay did not look like it got tipped. So Busch will get another a chance to hit the ball here. 3-2. Ground ball pulled. That's right to Alonso. Makes a nice play on an awkward hop and slip on the back for the out. So same result, just on a ground out now. One out that'll bring up Dansby Swanson, who's hitless tonight. Pair of ground outs and a fly out. First pitch. This is the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. One again on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2 now on Swanson. Mets will have Beatty, Marte, and McNeil scheduled due up in the top of the 8th inning. What I presume will be Caleb Thielbar. A pair of lefties in that scheduled order. The 0-2. Out to play, no offer, 1-2 now on Swanson. One, two, popped up behind home plate, but out of play. Still 1-2 on Swanson. One, two. Low and off the plate. 2-2 now on Dansby. 22 pitches for Rogers in just 2/3 of an inning. The 2-2. Ground ball hard, but right to Lindor again. He'll fire the first in time for the second out. He's had a lot of ground balls to hit today. And we have Justin Turner, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Has a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout looking. Flares that one out of play for strike one. Now one is high. It's 1-1 now on Turner. One popped up. Shallow center field. Nimmo cannot make the diving play. Turner's going to hit the brakes and head right back to first. That's going to be a single. For Justin Turner. Nimmo made a heck of a play, but just did not get there in time. And the Cubs have a chance here with the runner on first with 2 outs for Matt Shaw, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Singleton has a pair of strikeouts swinging. We're going to have a pinch runner at first. Kevin Alcantara coming to pinch run for Justin Turner. Get good speed aboard. Chance here for Shaw to do some damage. Pickoff attempt to first. Contra's back in time. Pitch. That's all 1-0 now. Shaw does have a run scored in the game. Alcantara goes. The pitch is up and away. The throw to second gets past Lindor, and that's going to be a stolen base. It's 2-0. The initial tag looked like it beat Alcantara, but Lindor could not hang on to the ball. So that's a stolen base. Actually, it hopped past Lindor's glove. So the go-ahead run is on second now. It's a 2-0 count on Shaw. The pitch. There at third, that's a strike, 2-1. Good speed aboard on seconds. If you're Shaw, you're just trying to get this one out towards right center field. A 2-1. Up and away, it's 3-1 now. PCA is on deck. Go ahead run is 180 feet away from scoring and taking the lead. The 3-1. Off the plate, ball 4. Shaw will reach, and that'll bring up PCA. Let's see if that's it for Rogers, and looks like that will be it. Joe Spada will come out. Get him. So Tyler Rogers will depart. So will we. 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th. Tied at 7. We'll be back on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live. Bottom of the seventh. Tied at 7, 2 outs. Cubs have runners on first and second. Brooks Raley is in to pitch now for the Mets, making his 27th appearance of the season. I'll face PCA. First pitch, top of the zone, not to strike. Pete, 1 for 2 tonight. A sac bunt, a single, and a line out. Could be a hero tonight for the Cubs. Here's the 0-1. That's off to play 1-1. Again, the Reds lost, so if the Mets do win, they get that final wild card spot again. The White Sox blew a 2-1 lead in the ninth, and then the Yankees walk them off. Here's the 1-1. Off to play 2-1 now. So the Yankees have officially clinched the postseason spot. Blue Jays are currently down, and that game could have already gone final against Boston. So the Yankees are only a game back of Toronto. It's 2-1. Swinging a miss, 2-2 now. So all the division races are going to be very tight as we enter 5 games remaining in the regular season. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 7, 2 on. And time is called from PCA. So we'll get this momentum up a little bit again. Cubs have 10 hits tonight. Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pete goes down on a slider, and that's on number 3. Cubs stranded pair don't score. What's at 8th in Chicago? Tied at 7 on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago. Our game summary, top of the 8th inning, tied at 7. Horton, Ranning's pitch, yep, run. It's now officially being reported he left the game with back tightness. Lindor led off the game with a home run in the first. Santana drove in a couple runs in the bottom of the first on a 2-run double. Nimmo had a 3-run game-tying home run in the top of the 5th, and then Seiya Suzuki in the bottom of the 6th had a game-tying RBI single. So, bit of a different wordage there as Brett Beatty will come in up and swing and a miss against Caleb Thielbar, who's making his 65th appearance of the season as a 1.94 ERA. So apologies about that earlier. I said that I believe that was a scheduled short start, but it's officially being reported by the Cubs that it is back tightness. Here's the 0-1. That's so it's 1-1 now. So, for Cade, It's interesting and not the best time to get potentially injured. Here's the 1-1. Flare to left field down the line. It's going to stay fair for a base hit. Beatty will make the turn, but he'll hold at first, so that's a leadoff single. It's in on the hands, and Beatty just goes opposite way with it. All right, we have Starling Marte, who's 1 for 3 tonight. A fly out, a single, and a ground out. And Luis Angel Acuna will come into pinch run for Beatty over at first. It's the first pitch. Marte swings and misses on a fastball up and out of the zone for strike one. Marte has also scored a run tonight. It's been a long game tonight. Here's the 0-1. Marte shows bunt, pops it up. Kelly will make the catch for the first out. That's a big out, and not only Jeff McNeil. I don't get what you're doing there, bringing on a bunt sign with a guy who could destroy a baseball, especially against lefty-lefty. I don't understand that decision there, if that was on Marte or if that was called by the coaches of New York. That was not really a good decision there. First pitch McNeil's a swing and a miss for strike one, especially because now you give up an out. And all Thielbar needs now is just a roll over ground ball double play, and he's out of the inning. I don't understand that. Here's the 0-1. That's off the plate, 1-on-1 now. Neal has a double and a run scored tonight. One inside corner. That's a strike 1-2 now on Thielbar or on McNeil. Good front door curveball. Here's the pitch. Little check swing, flare center field. Pete will come in and make the catch for the second out. Going to first, overthrown. And luckily for Chicago, that ball hit the railing of the Mets dugout and stayed in play. So that was a little scary for Pete. A nice play, and if you get to that situation, I just hold on to it if you're Pete. You're very lucky that ball was not going to go into the Mets dugout. Here's Alvarez 0 for 2 tonight. Timeout's called by Alvarez. Struck out Rishon and Aaron walked tonight. Also scored a run. Pitch from Thielbar is a curveball missing inside for ball one. Acuna does have decent speed over there at first base, and he's going to go. Pitches off the plate for a ball to throw to second, gets past to Horner, and a good job from Horner to hold the tag to avoid Acuna trying to head the third. But now the go-ahead run for the Mets is on second base. It's a 2-0 count on Alvarez. Boston did indeed beat Toronto, so that lead for the Blue Jays is very slim now. The 2-0 catches the tap of the zone for a strike, 2-1 now. John, come on. That was a strike, but it's ruled a ball. It's 3-1 now. Might be how Carson reached out and pulled it back a little bit, but that was a good pitch from Caleb. 3 balls and a strike to pitch. High fly ball, left center field, hit well. PCA goes back, he looks up, and this ball is out of here. 2-run home run for Francisco Alvarez, and the Mets have taken a 9-7 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. 10th home run of the season for Francisco, 101.8 mile-per-hour exit velocity, and a projected distance of 403 feet, and the Mets have taken the lead. There's a fastball. The pitch prior caught the zone, but it's with a ball on a fastball at the knees, and Alvarez just tattooed it. And the Mets are now 6 outs away, from retaking that final wildcard possession. First pitch, check swinging appeal to first. Lindor did swing at strike 1. Lindor tonight, 2 for 4, has a home run and a single. He's driven in 3. And they've outscored the Cubs 8-1 since the Cubs went up 6-1. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a miss on 2 now. Bullpen for Chicago has just not been good. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Rolling away 1-2 now. One, two, pop fly. Foul territory. Bush will make the catch for the 3rd out. But a 2-run home run from Francisco Alvarez breaks the tie. Well, to the bottom of the 8th on Track Sports Live. 9-7 Mets. Welcome back here to Chicago. Edwin Diaz is now in the pitch for the Mets this season. A 1.79 ERA, 16 1/3 innings pitched, making his 59th appearance. It's the 14th time on the season he's making an appearance in the 8th inning. Fires a first pitch strike to Horner to start off the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-run homer from Francisco Alvarez in the top half of this inning has made it 9-7 Mets. And the Padres have taken an early 4-0 lead over the Brewers in San Diego. Here's the 0-1. Check swing. Horner went too far. It's 0-2 now. So that'll, with the Cubs did indeed lose, that's going to be only a 1-game advantage for the Cubs. And that's a 3-pitch strikeout. Horner goes down looking. It's on number 1. So the Cubs are really flirting with having to try and go to San Diego, and even worse, they're on a losing streak. It's not been a pretty one either for Chicago. After their clean sweep of Pittsburgh, they've lost 4. They got swept by Cincinnati and are in danger of losing their 5th in a row. Perch to Hat misses inside for ball 1. Check swing appeal to third, and they say when. It's 1-1 now. Cubs down to the final 5 outs tonight. It's been a back and forth few innings. Just half swings and misses, 1 and 2. But really, for the Cubs, they went up 6-1 over the Mets. And since then, it's been a 8-1 advantage for New York. Reminder, Cade Orton, what was initially being reported as just a scheduled 3-inning start for him, it's inside its full now and half. It's now being reported by the Cubs themselves as back tightness is the reason why he left the game. So, you a lot of plays. So that might have saved the Mets season right there, unfortunately for the Cubs. Full count. Diaz comes set to pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back punch outs for Diaz. By the way, Brandon Nimmo has shifted from center to left field. So Suzuki will come out. Isano Acuna is in to play third, and Jose Siri is in the game now for Starling Marte. First pitch to Suzuki misses inside for ball 1. Fly ball left field, and that is going to be caught by Nimmo for the 3rd out. To the 9th inning we go in Chicago, 9-7 Mets on Chat Sports Live. Welcome back here to the top of the ninth inning. The Cubs trail the Mets 9-7. Besides the third and seventh inning tonight, those are the only two innings where no runs have been scored. Otherwise, a run has been scored in every single inning. But surprisingly, only the first and sixth innings have both teams scored a run. Jordan Wicks is coming to the game to pitch for the Cubs. First pitch is a swing and a miss by Juan Soto on a slider, making his seventh appearance of the season in 8.71 ERA. Facing Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo. That's a left-right-left configuration there. Go one, ground ball pulled. Bush will grab it. He'll make the play himself for the first out. So one gone on Pete Alonso, 1 for 4 tonight. Fly out, a strikeout, a ground out, and he's driven a run on a long single off the top of the wall in right field. What could have been a 3-run home run in that inning, and eventually was by Brandon Nimmo. Wicks will come set, and the pitch. Fastball to knees, that's a strike 1-1. Cubs will have scheduled up Kelly, Bush, and Swanson in the bottom of the ninth inning, with 2 to tie, 3 to win at this point in time. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a miss 0-2 now. Alonso will take his timeout. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a change of good pitch from Wicks. That's out number 2. Two down and 8, now ring on Brandon Nimmo. First pitch, flare to left field, outside of play for strike 1. That big 3-run home run that have originally tied it at 6. Probably been a big game changer. Here's the 0-1. That's on in, it's 1-1 now. A big back and forth game tonight. However, it's really been on the Mets side since that second inning. That's all the way. It's 2-1. And since the second inning, since the first inning, the Mets have scored 8. To the Cubs 7 overall. 2-1's low. It's 3-1 now. Still a chance with the Cubs, though. They have 3 outs to work with. By the way, it's 6-0 San Diego. They're in the top of the third. Fly ball left field. That's out of play. Full count now. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the ninth inning. 9-7 Mets. And big offensive battle. A lot of bullpen relievers used. Here's the 3-2. Check swing, ground ball hit towards third. Weekly shot will not have a play. It's going to be an infield single for Brandon Nimmo. And we have Vientos with 2 outs with a chance to extend this lead. Vientos has struck out twice swinging. He's also singled and flown out tonight. There's a changeup, good pitch from Wicks, swinging a miss for strike 1. Wicks will come set. Pitch to Vientos is a changeup in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 now. Wicks will come set. 1-1. Ground ball pulled. Shaw cuts it off. Fires the first in time for the third out. Cubs are down to their final 3 outs. They need 2 to tie, 3 to win. To the bottom ninth we go on Shy Sports Live, 9-7 Mets. Welcome back to the Chicago Shy Sports Live. 9-7 Mets on top of the Cubs. Bottom of the ninth. Cubs down to their final 3 outs tonight. So Edwin Diaz will be on to try and complete the 6 outs, or the 6-out save. Carson Kelly will step in 0 for 3 tonight as a walk, and he's grounded out 3 times. Scored a run and stolen a base, but Cubs need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Diaz threw 12 pitches in the in his first inning of work. First pitch misses on in for ball 1. And in that inning of work, he struck out a pair. 1-0 low away, 2-0 now. The Mets are able to hang on and win. They'll reclaim that final wild card spot over the Reds, who lost tonight to Pittsburgh 4-2. 2-0 misses in. It's 3-0 now. A 4-pitch walk is how do you like to start this inning? There's a strike, 3-1. A lot of hitters getting their 5th at bats of this game. 3-1. Inside. It is a foul ball. It's full now. Craig Counsell's going to say, hold on a second. That did look like it hit off the knob of the bat. It's close. Yeah, it does look like it hits off the knob of the bat, and it almost looks like it hits off the barrel of the bat. Cubs aren't going to challenge us a full count on Kelly. It's a break for the Mets. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's out number 1. Slider low and away, and Kelly chased it. Cubs are down to their final 2 outs of the ball game tonight. We got Michael Busch 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of ground outs to first and a walk. Strike. Caught the corner. Did not look like a strike, but it is. Our box had it about a quarter of an inch inside. That's back-to-back strikes, 0-2 now. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Diaz comes set to pitch. Ground ball pulled but foul. Ball was out in the right field area, so there's a brief time. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3. That's out number 2. Cubs are down to their final out tonight, and it's up to Dansby Swanson, who's over 4 tonight. 3 ground outs and a fly out. As always, we'll wrap up. This Inside. We'll wrap up tonight with us going over the stats before we end the broadcast. So we approach the 3-hour mark of the game tonight. Here's the 1-0. In your third, that's a strike, 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Cubs are down to their final strike in the game tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. 9-7 Mets. Diaz will come set. The pitch. Head high to the screen. And it's 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Mets have 9, Cubs have 7. '27th pitch of the outing for Edwin Diaz, who came in the 8th inning looking for a 6-out save. He'll come set, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's out number 3, and the Cubs have dropped the first game of this 3-game set. The Mets reclaim the final wild card spot. Wire will wrap up with stats after this. Once again, Mets win at 9-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live. Wrapping it up on the post-game show. Mets win game 1 of this 3-game set, 9-7. Cubs drop it and in danger of only being a game ahead of San Diego, who are currently beating the Padres. We'll go over some scores real quick before we before we go over stats. There's a lot of important scores going on. So the Marlins and Phillies, they've been in a delay for a while. They finished the ninth inning. They're tied at 3. They're still in a delay, I believe. In the bottom of the 8th, the Twins are beating the Rangers 4-1 there. The Royals are on top 2-0 over the Angels, and they're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dodgers on top by 1 over the D-backs, 1-0 there. Rockies on top 1-0 over the Mariners, and they're in the bottom of the 4th. The Brewers are currently trailing the Padres through 3 innings, 6-0. Cardinals and Giants, they're tied at 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Astros and Athletics are tied at 1. They've just completed an inning and a half. And the final scores for the finals for the day, Orioles beat the Rays 6-0 in that game. Guardians are now second in the AL Central as the Tigers are now second in the AL Central as the Guardians beat them. Pirates, this is a big key for the NL wildcard race, beat the Reds 4-2. Yankees come back and beat the White Sox in a walk-off. And the Yankees have officially clinched the playoff spot there. Blue Jays lose to the Red Sox, so that division is going to be very tight in these final 5 games. The Braves beat the Nationals 3-2, and are game 9-7 there. For the stats, for the scoring by inning, the Mets got the game started off on a leadoff home run from Francisco Lindor in the top of the 1st inning, did not score again, as the Cubs racked up 2 runs in the bottom half of the 1st inning. An RBI double from Carlos Santana against a not-so-well-played Juan Soto drove in 2, made it 2-1 Cubs. Cubs added 3 more runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning and another one in the 4th inning, and a 6-1, but then it all fell apart for Chicago after that. A 5-run 5th tied it at 6. Mets actually regained the lead 7-6 in the top of the 6th inning, but a RBI single from Seiya Suzuki tied it back up 7. But a 2-run home run from Francisco Alvarez in the top of the 8th inning ended the game there, basically. Where the Mets had 9 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. The Cubs had 7 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. For the individual stats, first for the Mets, Francisco Lindor went 2 for 5. A run, drove in 3 RBIs, had a home run. Juan Soto went 1 for 4 tonight with a run scored and walked 1, struck out once. Pete Alonso went 1 for 5 with a run, scored an RBI, struck out twice. Brandon Nimmo went 2 for 5, had that game-tying 3-run home run in the top of the 5th inning. Drove in 3, scored a run. Mark Vientos went 1 for 5, struck out twice. Brett Beatty went 1 for 4, struck out once. Luis Angel Acuna came in, the pinch run, scored a run. Starry Marte went 1 for 4 tonight, scored a run. Jose Siri came in defensively. Jeff McNeil went 1 for 4 tonight, scored a run. And Francisco Alvarez delivered the game-winning hit, went 1 for 3, scored 2 runs, had a 2-run home run, walked once, and struck out once. He's our player of the game tonight. Double by McNeil, home runs by Nimmo, Alvarez, and Lindor. Total bases, Vientos had 1, Nimmo had 5, Alvarez had 4, Alonso, Marte had 1, McNeil had 2, Beatty had 1, Lindor had 5, and Soto had 1. Stolen bases by Acuna and Soto, and the Mets left 5 men on base. For the Cubs, Nico Horner had a good game tonight, went 3 for 5, scored 4 runs, had an RBI, and struck out once. Ian Happ went 2 for 4, drove in a pair, walked 1, struck out twice. Seiya Suzuki went 1 for 5 tonight, drove in a run, struck out once. Carson Kelly went 0 for 4 tonight, walked 1, scored a run, struck out once. Carlos Santana only got 1 at bat tonight. It was a 2-run double in the bottom of the 1st inning. Michael Bish came in, went 0 for 3, walked 1, struck out once. Dansby Swanson went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Justin Turner went 1 for 3 with a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Kevin Alcantara came in the pinch run for him. Matt Shaw went 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored, a walk, and a pair of strikeouts. And Pete Armstrong went 1 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. For the Mets, they had 39 total at-bats, 9 runs, 11 hits, 9 RBIs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. For the Cubs, they had 36 at-bats, 7 runs, 10 hits, 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts. Cubs had doubles by Happ and Santana, and the total bases. Turner had 1, Happ had 3, Horner had 3, Suzuki and Armstrong had 1, along with Shaw. Santana had 2. A sacrifice bunt from Peter Armstrong and stolen bases from Kelly, Alcantara, and Horner. The Cubs left 8 men on base. Now for the pitching, David Peterson only went in the third, gave 5 hits, 5 runs, all 5 were earned, walked 2, struck out 1. Brazoban came in 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. That was an unearned run, struck out 2. Ryan Senna came in for an inning, walked 1, struck out 1. Gregory Soto went 2/3 of an inning, gave a hit, a run, an earned run, struck out 1. Tyler Rogers went in, gave 2 hits, 2 walks, nothing else. Brooks Raley got the win tonight for New York, went 1/3 of an inning, struck out 1, and Edwin Diaz got the 2-inning save, the 6-out save, struck out 5. So 9 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts, no home runs. The Cubs now, Cade Horton went 3 innings pitched. He had 2 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 2 strikeouts, 1 home run. Left with the game after the 3rd inning with back tightness. Michael Soroka came in for an inning and 2/3. He had 3 hits, 4 runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Taylor Rogers went an inning. He had 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, struck out 1. He had a home run. Drew Pomeranz came in and gave a third of an inning, gave a hit, walked 1, struck out 1. Andrew Kittredge went an inning, gave up a strikeout. Caleb Thielbar pitched an inning. He had 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, struck out, or gave up a home run. And Jordan Wicks pitched the 9th inning, gave up a hit, struck out 1, nothing else. For a total of 9 innings pitched, 11 hits, 9 runs, 4 earned runs for Chicago, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 3 home runs. And that will about do it tonight. Thielbar did get the loss, by the way, for the Cubs. But once again, the Cubs lose it 9 of the 7, blowing that 6-run lead. We will not have Game 2 broadcasted. We will see about Game 3, but that is going to do it for tonight's broadcast. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have another game broadcasted here shortly, and we will definitely prioritize MLB playoffs for the Cubs over other games. But with that being said, I want to thank you all for listening. Take care. Once again, for a final time, the Mets win it 9-7 over the Cubs in Game 1 of this 3-game set. This has been a presentation of Shy Sports Live.